so happy to be here. Obviously, it's been 3 long years since we're in person at an AEF, and it's great to be here and to interact and to network once more. So one of the key things that we did in 2019 was that we launched the Transparency 2. We had a nice press conference, well attended, and we had some visibility courtesy of that. Following its launch, we were able to then make it operational and issue the first report in 2020, which was a report highlighting how ESCOM was making payments to IPPs in Malawi. It's truly instrumental, and we believe that kind of information going forward will be very useful. Of course, the challenge now is to get similar reports across multiple countries, and we are well on our way to do that. So that's one accomplishment in the Transparency 2. Apart from that, we have 2 other initiatives in the energy sector. One is the African Energy Guarantee Facility. So since AEF, we were able to close the very first transaction there. We supported a 40 megawatt solar PV plant in Kenya, and we are likely to do more between now and the end of the year. Then lastly, coming to our flagship initiative, which is the Regional Liquidity Support Facility, RLSF. We're quite excited that since 2019, we've closed 5 transactions now in Burundi, in Malawi, and in Uganda. And on top of that, we've made some structural changes to the product, which we hope will make it easier to deploy and will allow us to have a bigger impact across the continent. Perhaps the last thing that we've done, which is instrumental, is our partnership with NORAD. So NORAD has committed additional funding for RLSF as well as other renewable energy sector initiatives, and we're really keen on seeing how we can deploy that going forward. So that's been ATI in the last 3 years in the energy sector. Yeah. Sure. I think one good reflection of that growing reputation is the kind of engagement we've had at AEF this year. It's the very first time we're having a booth, and historically people would ask who ATI is, but now we're getting 3-4 people every hour stopping by to inquire and to find out more. So that shows that people are getting to understand what we do and knowing that we're an option to de-risk their projects. Now going forward in terms of what we want to do, effectively it's 2 things. First of all, there are some things we do well, and we need to improve upon those. So the products that we offer, how can we offer them more competitively? How can we make sure that they are enhanced to improve the kind of coverage they provide? So in the case of RLSF, we've made some changes to cover additional revenue, to make it easily accessible to projects, to make it accessible to larger projects as well. So I think being able to improve on what we do well is a core factor that we'll look into going forward. So that's one. The second one is, in the last 10 years, there's been a lot of investment in grid-connected projects, and we have a successful model that works. It still has gaps, but a relatively successful model. The challenge that's upon ATI and similar institutions is how can we then reflect similar success for distributed renewable energy projects? So ATI is looking forward to growing into that space so that we can now provide de-risking instruments for C&I projects, for mini-grids, and for other distributed forms of renewable energy. So I think going forward, those are probably the key areas that ATI will be looking to work on. It's always very difficult to pick on a particular number because, of course, across the continent, you come across projects of various scale. What we are trying to do is to find effective ways to offer similar solutions to the very small projects, the type where the capex is under $1 million. So historically, what has happened is that it's easier to deploy guarantees and insurance for larger projects because the due diligence that we have to do, the kind of costs we have to incur before we support projects, they are easily absorbed by larger transactions. When you come to a 1 mini-grid project with capex of $1 million, and we apply the same cap of underwriting that we do on larger transactions, we'll simply not be competitive, and some of the guarantees that we offer may not be better suited for that area. So I believe not only are we going to grow our portfolio in that space, we're also going to grow our product suite in that space. In terms of what percentage it will constitute of what we do, I still believe the bulk of what we close will be grid-connected projects, but the fact that we're focusing more resources into this space in the next 2 to 3 years, the main challenge is one, let's develop the instruments for that sector, let's deploy the instruments for that sector, and then let's see how we can scale it up. We don't have a number in mind, but we expect it to form a growing part of not only our portfolio, but our focus in terms of collaboration with other partners, interaction with other developers and lenders in that space, so that we're better suited to offer this kind of guaranteed products. So I think that's the general approach we have for that particular sector.